I knew John when I was pretty young. I must have been maybe about 16 when we met. So we were very good friends through all of that period. And then the Beatles broke up. And he went to live in New York, so we didn't see much of each other. And there were a lot of problems around then, so we used to, we'd bitch at each other. And that was sad. But the good thing was that he and I eventually made it up. I used to phone him in New York, after all the arguments were over. And we got to be friends again, and it was nice. Long distance friends, but it was still friends. And I could phone him, I said, "What are you doing now?" He said, "Oh, I'm just baking some bread." I said, "Baking bread? Oh, I've done that." Or he said, "Oh, I'm just feeding the cat." He liked cats, I said, "Well, I've got a couple of dogs." We talk about ordinary things, and that brought us back together again. Because when we talked about business, it always ended up, "Oh, your business, my business, what are you doing? What am I doing?" It was crazy. Business is like that, can be anyway. But it was very good, actually. It was the one good thing when he died was that we had got our friendship back together again. So I was very happy about that. Very sad about his death, of course, like everyone. It was tragic, and it was one of the worst things to ever happen. But at least we'd spoken on the phone, and at least we were friends. So that was a big consolation for me.